Morning, Dad.
Hey, going for a run?
Yeah, you should join me like you used to.
Not with my old knees and back.
Try Xanthicin. It could really help. Plus, it's super safe, Dad, and it's good for your heart and brain.
Xanthicin fights aging with astaxanthin, nature's most powerful antioxidant. And with 3 times the absorption and superior purity, it's the brand physicians trust. Find it at getxantho.com and these retailers. Keep doing what you love with Xanthicin.
How's it going, everybody? We welcome you to episode 37 already on Hawaii Football Now, presented by Xanthicin. Jordan Haley, Hunter Hughes back with you for another week here on HFN. Big mahalos to our other sponsors, Spectrum Mobile and Hawaii USA FCU as well. We record this Wednesday, 7 a.m. on May the 11th, set to release tomorrow, May 12th, midday, as we get episode 37 out to the masses. It should be a lot of fun. We have Armani Edden on the episode. Our first player guest. We've had a few coaches starting to get some of the players as they have completed spring practice, kind of getting in that transition period into the summer. Armani, 6 foot, 185-pound senior quarterback out of West Palm Beach, Florida, 2017. Palm Beach Lakes High School graduate, took sort of the circuitous route, a couple of stops at different junior colleges, most recently College of the Canyons, before coming to the University of Hawai'i for the start of the Todd Graham era, very much in the mix in what is a crowded competition for the QB1 job. And a lot of fun to talk to Armani. We will get you that conversation in part 2 in the second half of our podcast. But as we begin this one for our quick opening drive, we did want to send our best wishes to the Chang Ohana. Coach Timmy Chang's mother suffered a heart attack last weekend and went into cardiac arrest this past Friday. She's currently in an induced coma, according to a tweet from Coach Chang just the other day. He was asking for prayers in healing. And it's one of those things, man. And you know, I talked to some other folks as well, as, you know, she's been able to wake up. She's, you know, on the mend, and we hope the prognosis is continuing to be positive. And so our best wishes to Coach Chang, his mom, as she continues to get better. All indications, we're hoping that continues. And it's a tough one. You know, she's been with Timmy at a lot of the events. She was at the Call the Coach that ESPN Honolulu puts on just the other week at Ruby Tuesday in Moanalua. And one thing, and I've had a conversation with some other folks about this as well, is Coach Timmy, he's been like an open book, man, and he's welcomed the fan base. He's welcomed everybody sort of with open arms, as has his family. Like, he's opened up his family. You know, he has made this a very family-oriented sort of endeavor for him. Yeah. With his immediate family, with his parents. Like, it's been really cool to see, and then for something like this to happen, man, it's just heartbreaking. And you know, all indications are that things are heading in a positive direction. We hope, we cross our fingers. Not much more to report there, but just our best out to Coach Timmy, his mom, and the rest of the family.
Yeah, they're a local family, man. That is from here. Timmy's obviously born and raised over here, and you root for guys like Timmy to do well, and anything surrounding or connecting to him, you're in support of that. Additionally, so thoughts and prayers go up to the Chang Ohana, and yeah, we're standing with them from the Hawaii Football Now team over here. That she will continue to get better, and yeah, should definitely be around to enjoy this season with us.
Yeah, that is the hope, right? And we hope it is a successful season, and understandably so. Coach Chang with his attention there, and we hope things turn out okay. No easy transition out of that. You know, obviously a lot of the folks going to be keeping the Changs, you know, in their hearts and on their minds. But, you know, to get into some of the other topics, again, we've got an interview with Armani Edden coming up a little bit later in the show after halftime. So first half, we'll kind of spend kind of popcorn hitting a few different topics that have come up within the last week or so. And one we'll start off with FBSchedulescom among some reports. I don't know if you frequent that, Hunter, but it's always kind of fun. They are the sort of one of the preeminent sources when it comes to like future schedules, home and homes. And it's always hard to keep track, right? Because the way college football works, it's like, oh yeah, Oklahoma and East Texas State are playing a home and home in 2041 and 2035. Like, it's like, who keeps track of this stuff? Well, there are people and websites who do. And of course, the University of Hawaii was set to play BYU in 2024 and 2025, a home and home in Provo and then on Oahu. But it appears, and again, there has been no confirmation by either school, at least that I have seen. So take that for what you will. But FBSchedulescom, among the reports that are saying that home and home series appears to be off, just based on the website for the University of Hawaii, where those BYU games are no longer listed. The fact that BYU has listed some other games on their schedule and removed some games on their future schedules as well. And of course, this likely is tied to the fact that BYU is joining the Big 12 and no longer an independent and no longer need 12 games, 12 non-conference games to go fill out their schedule. And part of the contract, I believe, was if, BYU were to join a conference sometime in the future and provide, I believe it was 18 months notice to the University of Hawaii, it wouldn't be a canceled game. It wouldn't be something where somebody owes money or something like that for getting out of the game. And so, it appears, at least that's where the dots sort of connect. Again, no confirmation by anybody official from either side, but a home and home with BYU, the rivalry, how that has ramped up, with the bowl game a few years ago, the way that the volleyball teams have met on the volleyball court in recent memory as well, but definitely on the football field, like those are the games that people get up for. And if it is indeed going away, that's kind of a bummer, man. Those are games that I'm sure folks will be looking forward to and would be a huge draw for the University of Hawaii had BYU been coming to town. But, money talks, right? And BYU's off to the Big 12. And so one of the casualties on the, one of the side effects, if you will, may be this home and home series with UH.
With that, for those listening, Jordan, that may not fully know, and I'm actually one of those right now, I'm curious, would that eliminate the chance of a bowl game matchup, even being possible? Because I know, let's just preliminarily say the Hawaii Bowl. They usually try to pair us up with another group of 5 7-win team. Is that correct? And then
yeah, I believe the current tie-in is the American.
Okay.
There was Memphis this past year. I believe that is the tie-in, because for a while it had been, power conference teams, right? In the past, it had been Pac-12 teams in the past. Things have shifted a little bit due to, the inclusion of other bowl games like the LA Bowl. I think Mountain West is tied into among some of the others. So yeah, I believe it is still the American, but in years past when some teams weren't eligible or whatnot, such as 2019, I believe it was, right, when BYU came to town. Yeah, I think to answer your question, it makes it far less likely, right? I don't think a Big 12 team has ever played in the Hawaii Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. And so that would be kind of a bummer if that's off the table as well, because that was at least one caveat. I was like, hey, maybe down the road, right? But yeah, that would be tough. And then if they do join the Big 12, if they do keep their current makeup where it's going to be 9 conference games, that only leaves BYU 3 non-conference games. And they're going to have to play Utah. I would imagine they're going to keep the Utah game, right? And often they schedule Utah State as well. So there are not a lot of whole opportunities for UH to get BYU on the schedule.
Yeah, no. And, in a similar vein, I read that great article from Stephen Tsai just yesterday that the Mountain West is actually entertaining the thought of eliminating their subdivisions, eliminating the mountain and then obviously the ocean, the west side of the conference, so that just the 2 top teams of the Mountain West will face off for football in the Mountain West championship game, which could be good, could be bad for us just in terms of, who we're playing, who's hot and who's not. But that in itself could change the face of our direct conference as well, Jordan, heading forward.
Yeah, it really could. And that would be really interesting because no matter which way you slice it, right, you're going to have an unbalanced schedule. Like you can't play everybody unless you're planning on playing 11 conference games, right? Like that's just not a reality. It's not a 10-team conference where you can play 9 conference games. That seems to be, I think, the highest you could go. So there's going to be an unbalanced schedule anyway, whether it's just divided along divisional lines, right? The Mountain and the West Division, or if you just do away with it. And I don't know how you set up that schedule on a rotational basis. It's sort of, I would imagine, work out to be that way anyway, if you're going to, keep a rotational deal, right? Where, maybe it's not just based off of standings within each division, but you're going to play similar type of schedules, I would imagine, where you're playing, the same 8 teams and then you rotate it and whatnot. So it's, that's a little strange. That's a little strange to me. I know they're trying to boost their profile, right? And have the top 2 teams at the end. That makes sense, especially if you're fighting for, say, Cincinnati type group of 5 berth into a playoff, or if you expand, as has been all the talk, into a larger field, an 8-team field or 12-team field or whatever. Like you want to position yourself to have the strongest team with the strongest resume as well, right? In that 13th game, that 13th data point, as the playoff committee likes to point out. So that would be interesting to see how they format that. And it would also be interesting to see how much bigger of a travel budget Hawaii would need if it's not like, hey, we know that we're going to California and Nevada 3 times a year, no matter what, as opposed to maybe now all of a sudden we've got to take 4 or 5 trips into the Mountain Time Zone a year because all of a sudden everybody in Utah and Idaho and Colorado's on our schedule. Like that'd be a big difference.
Yeah, totally. And not only that, but the caliber of teams. It's no question that there's a top shelf to the Mountain West and a lower end. And so, could we somehow finagle our way to not see Boise for, a couple of years until the Mountain West Championship game, or, a team like San Diego, which is always competitive. It brings up some interesting potential, and I don't know, anything in my mind that could position UH strategically a little bit better. I'm a fan of, but still, all this is still yet to be seen, yet to be determined. But it's definitely interesting moving forward.
Yeah, and that just makes things that much dicier as you try to fill out a non-conference schedule. There's some big opponents, obviously, Michigan this year, Oregon in future years for the University of Hawaii. But
can't forget about Vandy. Can't forget about
Vandy. Yeah, I mean, true, right? Power 5 opponents. But as these teams fill out and become bigger conferences, thus bigger conference schedules, chasing bigger money and bigger paydays, that's just less and less for a team like the University of Hawaii in a conference like the Mountain West to get in on the party. And that is troubling, right? And I've always sort of been I don't know if I'd be fully a proponent of independence, but I do think it is a very intriguing option. But as more and more of these teams get scooped up, it's like, man, I don't even know if it's a realistic possibility, as opposed to just a pipe dream. So that's going to be really fascinating to see how it plays out, because Hawaii needs more games, right? And you're looking at more conference games, and maybe the big Mountain West goes to additional conference games. Maybe they go to 9 conference games, if indeed they could be looking at this, dissolving the divisional setup. Something.
It all just goes back to how we do in our conference, what we do with what we have right now. People are always talking about, wouldn't it be great if we were in the Pac-12 down the road? Wouldn't it be great this? Wouldn't it be great that? We need to own the Mountain West first before we can talk about, down the road. And obviously this last year with a group of 5 like Cincy making it to the Final Four, phenomenal, because it has great implications for a group of 5 school like us. But before we can get down there, we have to do well with what we have right now. And I think everything is in the cards, or in the future, with what we see right now with this transition with the brotherhood with Coach Timmy Chang and how it feels. We know what we need to do, and it feels like they're going about it the right way. But you know what I'm saying, Jordan? It feels like sometimes, and it's kind of our job to think about these things down the road, but let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. Let's worry about owning the Mountain West first.
Yeah, no, I get you, right? You want to kind of climb the ladder one rung at a time. It's kind of hard to put the rocket boosters on and get all the way to the top floor without going through the proper channels and the proper steps. So yeah, I'm with you there. And it's going to start this season and seeing if Hawaii can kind of get back into contention in the West Division of the Mountain West Conference. And speaking of this coming season, we did want to send a big congratulations to our guy, Bobby Curran, colleague here at ESPN Honolulu, who's hanging it up on the football side as he is stepping down as UH football's radio voice for decades, 32 years. It's kind of crazy that it's been that many years. Time does fly. Over 400 games that he's called, 400 football games that he's called at the University of Hawai'i. I mean, some of the biggest moments in program history for Bobby is, as you think about it, right, going all the way back to basically the start of the 90s and all of that in between, Holiday Bowls and Sugar Bowls and conference championships and Heisman finalists and multiple eras, multiple coaches, and the longstanding, longest constant has been Bobby Curran narrating and providing, I don't know how many listeners over the years with the picture of the moment. And as he was quoted in Stephen Tsai's article, right, quote, "Whoever expects to do something you really enjoy and have it last 32 years, I consider myself quite blessed. It's hard to look at it any other way." And yeah, man, what a job that he's done. And fear not. I mean, he's still going to be doing the radio show in the mornings. He's still going to be calling UH basketball. And I think for Bobby, the Big West road trips, right, a little more favorable in basketball than some of the Mountain West road trips where you got to go to like Laramie in freezing temperatures. You got to go to Logan, Utah, or Fort Collins or Albuquerque. Like it's just a little different. And after 32 years, I think Bobby's deserved a little bit of a break. The one flight trips are always a little more enjoyable for the basketball season than sometimes the arduous Oregon Trail like endeavors that you got to go on to get out to some of the outposts in the Mountain West when it comes to football. So awesome for Bobby. Our best to him. We'll be looking forward to basketball season, as well as, if you're up early like we are, you got the morning show as usual. And also announced that John Veneri will slide over from the color analyst seat to the play-by-play seat, and Mark Veneri, his brother, will be moving upstairs from the sideline to take over as the color analyst. So congrats to the Veneri brothers as well on the broadcast. It's all about brotherhood, Hunter, when it comes to the football program these days. So pretty cool, and our best to Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. You and I are brothers, in some capacity.
That's right.
So ESPN seems to be following suit with this whole marketing.
Get on board, folks.
Yeah, they're on board. I like it. But yeah, hats off to Mr. Curran. Even in the short time I've been in Hawaii, it's just iconic. Turning on the radio and hearing Bobby talking about let's get to this. I really want to get to this, or something like that. He's got those few phrases that are just kind of iconic with Bobby. So man, 32 years, 406 covered games. That's pretty incredible, man. Pretty
unbelievable.
Great. Yeah. That's an amazing run right there, and hats off to him for sure.
Yeah, just an awesome run. And again, he will be on the call for UH basketball come that season, and we'll continue with the morning show as well. And looking forward to John and Mark getting the baton pass to them. I'm sure they'll do a great job as well. One last quick topic before we head into the halftime break. JoJo Ward, former University of Hawai'i receiver, gets his first USFL touchdown with the Houston Gamblers. Has played in a couple of their 4 games, getting right. Now 9 catches for 78 yards in 2 games played, plus the touchdown. And a
backflip.
The backflip, man. He's showing off some of that athleticism. he's wearing 23, I think. He's got like Jared Smart's 2-3 on. I'm sure Jared will give him a little thought on that, but good to see him get in the end zone. I think him being in the lineup makes that offense a lot better. It had struggled a bit the first couple of games, but since he's been back, they have looked a bit better, and cool to see him get in the end zone. Cool to see him do the backflip.
Yeah. Also, a little note: if Hawaii was ever to get a USFL team, I think we should get the gambling name, the Hawaii Gamblers. Maybe a little bit more than Houston, in my mind. But yeah, hats off to JoJo. Anytime that you can put it on tape, at one of these lower level, grades of football, it's going to help him in trying to get another camp opportunity. As we know, he got a free agent signing with the Cardinals. He was kind of there in conjunction with Cole McDonald just a couple of years ago. And he was one of those two that kind of had to go through it during that COVID era when they were not quite able to carry as many guys into camp. And so good to see him still playing at a high level. Stoked for him.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And when we're talking about University of Hawaii alums playing in other leagues other than the NFL, we talked about JoJo Koleval signing with the BC Lions. We mentioned all the success of some of the guys there in Canada, particularly in Vancouver, right? Whether it's been Solomon Elamimian, blessed on the comments on YouTube, also brought up Jim Mills, right? It was a CFL Hall of Famer, one of the greats for the University of Hawaii offensive tackle back in the 80s. And yeah, how could we forget Jim Mills? Awesome shout there by one of our listeners. So we'll take a quick break here, head into halftime, and then we got the Armani Edden interview on the other side. But of course, before we head into the halftime break, got to remind you about this amazing supplement called astaxanthin. Doctors and pharmacists recommend it for everything from joint and muscle function to cholesterol health and cognitive function, even anti-aging. Did you know only one brand delivers 3 times more astaxanthin to your body, making it a better buy than the competition? Introducing Xanthicin, available at getxantho.com, Newtown Square Pharmacy, Down to Earth Kaka'ako, GNC stores, and Pharmacare Hawaii. You can get all the information you need at getxantho.com. That's GetZantho.com. All right, second half coming up.
This is Hawaii Football Now from ESPN Honolulu.
All right, second halftime here on episode 37 of Hawaii Football Now. Now, Jordan and Hunter back with you. Before we get to the Armani Edden interview, we did want to make a mention that it is May 11th as we record this, and hard to believe that it's been 1 year to the day of Colt Brennan's tragic passing, the former University of Hawaii great. And, his legacy has been carried on through his family, through the Colt Brennan Legacy Fund as well. And ESPN Honolulu has been fortunate enough to collaborate with Barefoot League and High Life to create a benefit T-shirt, and all proceeds from the T-shirt will go directly to the Colt Brennan Legacy Fund, and that shirt will be available today as we record this. So by the time you get to listen to it, it will be available. Just check out the website at espnhonolulu.com. It's pretty cool design, if I do say so myself, and it goes without saying, obviously it'll go and benefit the Colt Brennan Legacy Fund and all of the good work that has already been accomplished by, the folks around him. His parents, his dad, Terry, has been amazing, through such a tragic time. And it is only fitting that this Colt Brennan Legacy Fund will continue on, and shout out to, the folks here at ESPN Honolulu, Barefoot League, High Life as well, doing their small part to help contribute to that. So, with that, we're going to go ahead and get you right to our interview with Armani Edden, quarterback for the University of Hawaii. All right, Armani, hey, thanks for joining us, man. We know it's early. We appreciate you coming in and jumping on the Zoom with us and joining Hunter and I. And just first off, man, how you doing? I know spring practice, it can go by in the blink of an eye, but it does take a little bit of a toll. And as you guys kind of get the bodies back ready and right, how are you feeling right now as we head towards the summer?
Well, thank you for having me. Right now, we're kind of in our discretionary period right now. So we're kind of just having workouts, doing speed and agility things, along with lifting and running. I feel good. I'm excited, man. I hope you guys are excited. We're ready to kick this thing off and kind of look forward to a good year for sure.
Yeah, I think it's hard not to be excited just with everything going on, both on the field and off the field, and how I think, Coach Chang, along with the staff, as well as the players buying in, have sort of, put this message out, right? Like, hey, things are changing, things are exciting. Get on board if you can. And with the way that things kind of culminated with the spring game, I think for the fans, it was from all indications a big success, and you played pretty well in the spring game. And so how did you feel, for you personally, that spring went, as and I think it's no secret that the quarterback job's an open competition at this point.
Yeah. I thought spring went well. There are a couple of things just from a operation standpoint that I could clean up a little better, but overall, I think I did okay. I look forward to the competition. I look forward to kind of what's ahead of us. And I'm ready for the challenge.
Sick, man. Yeah. Armani, for those listening at home, they may not quite know your whole journey getting here. Maybe speak just to a little bit of what it was like being a college football player during the COVID era, when things were kind of, locked up. And then, into this, what were the last couple of years like, man? Because now we kind of feel like what UH and what Hawaii football is supposed to look and feel like, but it wasn't like that the last couple of years, man. So you've been on quite the roller coaster as a player here at University of Hawaii. What's that been like, man?
So absolutely. So after the 2019 season, I was at a JUCO in California called College of the Canyons. Had a great year there, and then I was offered a scholarship to come and play here for Hawaii, but I couldn't.
You got out.
Yeah. I couldn't go on a visit. So it was kind of just trusting my gut and my faith and believing in that and being able to come here. And thank you, Coach Kenny, for giving me the opportunity for sure. But no, COVID was definitely tough. It was an unfortunate time for football, but
yeah,
we were just grateful to even have a season. So for us to even get up to that point, I think it's something to be proud about. We did have a different coach. Todd Graham was our coach at that time. Just kind of did things a little differently, but nothing negative to say. I'm forever grateful for the opportunity.
And, I think it needs to be said that not everything that transpired these last couple of years can really be hung just on the Todd Graham hook, if you will.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that, exactly what you said, had to do with restrictions, what was going on, bigger than football, that UH was just trying to get by with fans being able to be on campus and, different things like that. I mean, from a player's perspective, you guys were really having to be resilient during that time. It was one thing after another, different restrictions, different freedoms, here or there. I mean, what was that like, man? What kind of kept you going forward? And even now, as we come into the fall, where you finally have gotten an opportunity now to compete for the starting job, man, it's been a wild couple of years for you.
So no, absolutely. There were plenty of outside factors going into that throughout COVID. But as a team, we find a way to stay resilient and kind of just keep pushing through. Because once the season starts, you're in it now. You know what I mean? There's no going back. So you can't really do much outside of that. You know what I mean? You kind of just got to deal with the cards that you're dealt with and kind of keep moving forward.
Yeah, and kind of on that note, Armani, as Hunter pointed out, some of your journey, like, coming up, playing your high school ball in Florida, did you ever imagine that this journey would take you all the way, not just across the country, but clear across the country, right across the continent and then the ocean to get out here to Hawaii?
Definitely not. I couldn't even have imagined it. No. So it's definitely a blessing to be out here, especially in the warm weather. I'm used to warm weather. But no, it's been a journey. It's been a journey, and I'm excited to kind of keep pushing through.
Yeah, no, you've been smart, right? I mean, from Florida to Southern California, although it does get a little chilly up in Santa Clarita. and then out to Hawaii. How would you sort of characterize your development as a player throughout that process? You know, I mean, having to go and scrap through the JUCO route, and often, right, you see sometimes the JC guys, like there's a little extra chip on their shoulder, you know, being overlooked a little bit out of high school, getting a chance, right, a couple of different stops at the junior college level, Antelope Valley, then College Canyons, and now to the University of Hawaii. But how would you say your game and whatnot has developed and kind of progressed through this process that eventually led you to Manoa?
That's a great question. I think my game has progressed tremendously. And I think JUCO kind of just added another chip on my shoulder. I think you kind of have to have that playing football and kind of anything competitively. I think that's what separates people. And I think that means a lot. You know what I mean? That toughness and kind of just that grit to kind of keep pushing and go through whatever is in front of you. So, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of progressing as a player, that he's still got to work on his jump shot, though. We do need to put that on the radio. He's put in a lot of work, and that's another thing he needs to continue to work on. But Armani, I'm a big believer in speaking good things into our future, and in terms of that, man, if everything were to work out well, what would the fall look like for you? What would the next 6 months look like? If everything were to fall into place, what does that look like for you as a UH football player?
I think it ends up me just being the guy here and taking over the realms under Coach Chang and Coach Shoemaker. But also I think us having a winning season. I think kind of last year we had bits and tastes of it, but I don't think we came together as well. We're going to come together this year. I think this year is something fans and kind of people on the outside looking in should definitely look forward to. But definitely a winning season and Mountain West champions for sure.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, from our perspective, we feel like you guys are together, being down there on the sideline, the look, the feel, the environment, it feels like family down there. And the best teams I've always been on have been family environments. And there's nothing stopping us from, having a winning season and, in my mind, getting back to a bowl game. I mean, do you guys feel the same way in the locker room?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Absolutely. I think that's the only thing. There's nothing less than that you want to shoot for. So, having that be our goal is kind of something we're working towards every day. So we know we still have a lot of work to do. We know we're still kind of even becoming more of a family. But I think we're off to a great start, and I feel really good about it.
Yeah, and Armani, you mentioned Coach Shoemaker, right? Ian Shoemaker, the new offensive coordinator here under Coach Chang, quarterbacks coach as well. And we all know Coach Chang's background at that position. Yeah. But what's sort of been the key message from Coach Shoemaker or whoever else, if Coach Chang is helping out as well? We know he's been heavily involved with receivers, but for the quarterbacks in particular, what's sort of been the mantra? Like, what's been the biggest point of emphasis for your group in that meeting room?
I think he wants to see who operates the best, takes complete control of our offense, who does the little things correctly. I think that's kind of our biggest thing right now that he's kind of pushing towards us. But shoot, I love listening to him and just hearing him talk. You can just tell he's so knowledgeable about the game, and you really have to respect his coaching career as well. So and then I love our offense. I'm absolutely excited about our offense. You guys kind of got a taste of it, but behind closed doors, we have a lot more coming at you guys.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of the natural follow-up, right? And I get it, and Coach Chang gets all of these questions as well, right? And you can only divulge so much, and I understand, right? You're not gonna show your hand. But with Coach Shoemaker, with this offense, and one thing that Coach Chang has divulged, I know in some of his media appearances is, they took spring as an opportunity to install a massive amount of the playbook, trying to put it all out there, right? At least intro everything that they could. And then you kind of pare it down as you get into the season week to week and whatnot. But how how would you say your skill set sort of fits into the general idea of what you all are trying to do offensively?
Yeah. I think my skill set fits great. I think I'm bringing a lot of a variety to what we're doing. And I think this offense helps my skill set get put on display. So I couldn't be put in a better position. Just kind of have to go out and execute and do what I'm here for.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we've been super excited seeing some of the guys coming in, and what we're kind of formulating as a final product coming into that that game one against Vandy. How has it been from a quarterback to receiver sort of chemistry, if you will, of you guys flowing with the current receiver core? I know Jared Rasua, coming in has been a great boost for us. Kind of talk about that a little bit, what that's been like for you guys with both position groups.
I think it's been great. We have a bunch of skill sets and different types of guys at our receiver position as well. Coach Rasua is doing a great job with those guys, getting them prepared and kind of just keying in on details as well, and just learning how to operate really fast. You know what I mean? And we want to run a really fast paced offense. So just kind of getting set up, and everything before the actual play is kind of what we're related to.
Are you guys wanting to do more of a quick tempo, even hurry, sometimes, and not just in 2 minutes?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. I think you can definitely count on that. But not all the time, but yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something, if you follow Coach Shoemaker's past stops, right? Running a lot of plays, scoring a lot of points. Like that's been his MO, whether at some of his stops at the lower levels and then even at Eastern Washington. Like that's what they do. That's no secret, I think, to those who I'm sure, Vanderbilt's going to be putting on some of those the old EWASH tapes to figure out, take some guesses as to what UH will look like here. And Armani, I'm kind of curious, right? I mean, quarterback room, you guys are going to be amongst the leaders on the team when it comes to the program overall. And with just the amount of turnover, that's sort of commonplace now, at the Division I level with the portal and guys leaving. And it's been talked a ton about all the guys that have left the program, but also a number of guys who continue to enter the program. It's sort of a year-round process now. There aren't these, clear-cut periods where it's like, all right, the new recruits are in or the new transfers are in, like guys are being added and whatnot, almost continuously. And so with all of that roster turnover, has it been a little challenging to kind of keep everybody together as you being one of those guys that have been here now for a couple of years, 3 years now, amongst the mainstays, amongst the holdovers? I'm just kind of curious how that's been, kind of integrating new guys in, getting them up to speed, kind of how things operate, how you guys do things, while also learning new things under a new coaching staff. Like there's just a lot of change. And as one of the guys who have been there for a while and one of the leaders of the team, how's that gone for everybody as you guys have now, but about 5 months into this new era?
Man, that's a great question. I think you kind of have to embrace it. There's no other way to really look at it. Guys are going to do whatever they feel best is for their future, and you have to respect it. Of course, we didn't want as many people as left our school to enter the portal, but things happen. But you kind of have to focus on what you have and kind of move forward with that.
Yeah, no, I totally hear that, and so and then it comes down to it, right? And spring's a competition, and we know at your position, but it gets that way between the offense, defense, between the receivers and DBs. How has that sort of played out here, getting to check out some of the spring practices and whatnot? Like that competition is healthy, right? It can get a little fun. It can get a little, trash talky, if you will, but how's the competition been for you and what you've observed amongst your guys across the roster?
Yeah, for sure. We're a competitive team, man. So definitely being able to go out, guys, and having to be just a friendly banter. You don't want to haul our guys up, but yes, definitely being competitive in practice. I think it's gonna make everybody better. I think that's what you need in the team. I think that's what makes us who we are. And you want to have that. I mean, you don't want guys kind of just leaning off when it's competitive time. So
Yeah, there's a fine line, right? There's a fine line of healthy competition and then getting over into, oh, you hurt someone's feelings. And as tough as some of these guys look, like they can get their feelings hurt really quick, especially those DBs, man. At least in my experience. But yeah, like would you guys, you guys have only had a little bit of time together with some people, and especially with this offense, but would you feel like you're clicking where you need to be? Or, if you were to point at, even yourself in the quarterback room or other positions, where would you tighten the screws if you need to? Obviously, everybody needs to do their part, right? But to be ready for Vandy, an SEC team coming into town in just a few short months, if we're going to make you the offensive coordinator or the head coach right now, what would you like to see from what you saw in the spring game and even all throughout spring? What would you improve in the next short months?
I like how you put that, but I would say just kind of everybody being the best version of themselves. I think if everybody focus on themselves and individually improves one by one, I think you can ask for something better than that. So as a team preparing for August 27th, I think that's what we're kind of looking forward to. So if we all improve individually, there's no going wrong in that. You know what I mean? Right. I think that's what all of our coaches want. I'm sure that's what and that's what we look for as well. Like, hey, is this guy doing this? Is this guy doing this right? So.
Perfect, man. Yeah, do your 111th, right? I had a coach always say, do your 111th. And if you got 11 guys doing that, you're going to get 11 out of 11 right there. So I think that's kind of the mentality.
That's the position.
Jordan, how long have you been working here?
I guess I've been doing the broadcasting stuff maybe like 7 years or whatnot. I mean, we just started this podcast like the start of last season. And I just been doing like some other stuff, high school stuff, and a little bit of UH here and there.
He does a lot of volleyball too.
Okay, no, that's
awesome. We're kind of all over volleyball, a little bit of basketball, and then football season's probably the busiest. Yeah.
He's got that patented silky smooth Hawaii voice.
Yeah, I know he does. He does.
Yeah. It sort of just spills out of his mouth like macadamia syrup.
Yeah. That's classic. That's classic. Yeah, especially in the morning when I like just roll out of bed. It's like,
oh yeah, bro.
It's like just trying to get the morning started.
Chunky syrup.
I just got a few more to kind of get you out of here, Armani. I know you got a busy schedule, and so just kind of 3 rapid fire ones from me. Are you a beach guy? I know you've spent a lot of time around the water. Are you a beach guy, and where's your spot if you are?
So I'm actually not that much of a beach guy, man. So I grew up in Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida, where kind of the beaches around us as well, but they're not as nice as Hawaii, though. I got to give you guys that for sure. But no, I wouldn't say I necessarily am a beach guy, to be honest with you. Yeah.
That's all good. That's all good, man. What's your kind of go-to like local food? Have you sort of embraced the plate lunch? What's your go-to, man?
Musubis for sure. Musubis.
You never go wrong.
Yeah.
You never go wrong.
He said it right, Jordan. He said it.
I know.
Right.
That's why. That's perfect.
I was calling them Musubis for forever.
Yeah.
No, Armani's on it. Armani picks it up quick. Easy stuff. And then Armani, just kind of the last one, and of course the hashtag brotherhood, right? That's been the moniker, even before Coach Chang got hired, just before he got hired. Sort of, what's your take on that? Like, what's that mean to you? How does that sort of resonate with you, and how have you sort of internalized that as that's become basically the branding for the program, right?
I think kind of last year we had a lot of division a little bit, and then kind of how the end of the season went. It's not how you want to end the season. So I think that mantra now means more than ever. because it just kind of brings everybody together and really kind of, that you have to count on your brother. You know what I mean? So brotherhood, that's kind of where we're at right now. But yes, so being able to count on the guy next to you is important. And just, you can't, like, that's what you want in a program. That's what you want to be able to do.
Totally.
And I think kind of every program should be that way, but they're not Hawaii. So we're like,
That's right.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
right. You can't go grab some musubis, as Hunter
Not
would
at
say,
all.
right? Some
Not
musubis,
at all.
with the brothers after practice, just about anywhere else. Hey, Armani, we really appreciate it, and thanks for joining us. You are our first player guest that we've had on the show. We've had a few coaches, especially from the defensive side of the ball, so we had to get some offense involved with the podcast here, and we thank you, man, and we know it's been quite the journey to get to this point, and we wish you nothing but the best going forward, and good health on into the season, my man.
Thank you, man. I'm most honored to be on the show. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate you guys for having me. This was a good one. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good, man. You could have dropped your Madden record if you wanted to, but
that would have been cool. That would have been cool. Yeah, I'm undefeated in Madden. Undefeated.
Never lost, man.
Nah, I'm kidding. I just play a lot. That's my game. That's my hobby right there. Chess.
You gotta have some way to relax, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can add that in there. Madden and chess are my hobby.
ooh,
Madden and chess, okay.
Yeah.
He's always 3 steps ahead.
Love Madden and chess. Yeah.
He's thinking. He's a thinking man. I like that. I like that.
Have to be.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, big mahalo to Armani. 2 musubis for him. As we had a lot of fun talking story with the QB, and we'll have a lot more reaction next week as well. Hope you all enjoyed that as much as we did. It should be fun. That competition is going to be one that everybody's going to keep their eye on when it comes to the quarterback race. I know you as well, Hunter.
Oh yeah, big time. I've been watching as well as some of my other former alumni have been watching the QB room with thoughtful but intentional eyes, and just we're wanting to see this program turn around, and a big part of that, rests and falls with the quarterback position, especially with what happened with Chevin this last year. So we're looking for that heir incumbent, whatever that looks like, whether it be that Pickett kid that came through. The new guy from Pitt.
Oh yeah, Yellen, yeah.
And whether it be him, whether it be Brennan Shager, or even Armani Edden, we're wanting to see move into the positive. And what we've come to see with Coach Shoemaker's offense is they score a lot of points. And so if you're a QB and you're in the Mountain West, you want to come play for a guy like that in a school like Hawaii. That's just kind of our nature as a team. And so I'm excited for that. Man, Armani's a great guy, man. I'm wanting to see good things come to great people. So all the best to him as he comes into the fall.
Yeah, going to be fun competition to follow, no doubt about that. All right, a quick overtime before we head on up out of here, and we got to end it on this positive note, right? National champs, University of Hawai'i men's volleyball program.
Unbelievable.
What a week it was last week, a sweep of North Greenville in the opening round. They had to survive, come back from 2-1 down against Ball State in the national semifinals on Thursday, end up winning that one in 5, and then a sweep of Long Beach, which just makes everything that much sweeter. Like there are a lot of good rivalries from the University of Hawaii. Don't get me wrong. And the football program, it's been building with San Jose State, whether it's Fresno, BYU, but they don't play every year. Hawaii, Long Beach State men's volleyball. Like that's the best rivalry for any sports program in the University of Hawaii athletics department right now. There is a healthy amount of animosity between those two. They seem to bring out the best in each other when it comes to level of play, and to go ahead and sweep them for the national championship in Southern California. The crowd was amazing. It felt kind of cathartic. I felt great for the program, obviously. Gets you kind of emotional watching that, but to have all of those fans there and so many of them flying up, not just the folks that are living up on the mainland now, after not being able to go last year, right? They won the national championship, but it was in front of like 150 people at that small little gym at Ohio State against BYU. But this one, the full season against Long Beach with the packed house at Pauley Pavilion, which turned that thing into, basically a home court advantage for the University of Hawaii. Everything about it, man, complete chicken skin. And to go back to back, the third straight season where they're in the national championship match, we are getting spoiled, man. We are getting spoiled as fans, and enjoy this for as long as this ride can go. And look, man, it's the University of Hawaii. We talked about the pecking order when it comes to football. It's not where we fit in the national landscape. When it comes to volleyball, there's nobody better.
That's right. And another banner for the Stan. I mean, Coach Shoji, obviously all-time great, heralded, probably going to, be a Hall of Famer, whenever he's eligible. And Charlie Wade now, undisputed, one of the better coaches in the history of UH sports, man, 2-time national champion. It's pretty incredible. And it brings so much accolade, not just for the volleyball program, that goes without saying, but all of UH sports, just this now pattern of excellence down there at Lower Campus, man. I'm elated.
Yeah, awesome stuff. That'll do it for us here on another episode of Hawaii Football Now. Big thanks to Armani Edden for joining us as a guest on the episode. Big thanks to Jaron on the controls as well, producing this thing and cutting everything up. And big thanks to our sponsors as well, Xanthicin, Spectrum Mobile, and Hawaii USA FCU. For Hunter, I'm Jordan. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Hawaii Football Now.
You've been listening to Hawaii Football Now with Jordan Helly and Hunter Hughes, all from ESPN Honolulu.